Cool. Hello, good morning, good day, good evening, wherever you're watching this video from. I'm Stuart Hallcroft. I have a range of super patches you might have seen from my channel, and I'm joined today by Sean Hart. Sean Hart is a fantastic person. He's got a smile like a Cheshire cat, and he helps people in great ways, specifically for golf. So we met at a BNI meeting last Thursday over in Ware in Hertfordshire. But Sean, good day to you. It's morning time when we're recording this. Pardon me, it's afternoon time recording
Yeah,
this. Um, Fingers on pulse and all that, Stuart.
yeah.
So Sean, great to have you on the call today. I'm
Thank
going
you.
to let you introduce yourself and what you do, and then I'll ask you some questions about how you can help golfers to get the best from their game, their bodies, and their mind as well. So
100%.
take it away, Sean.
Thank you. So I've been a PT for 15 years now. Um, Trained multiple different types of people, your general population, fat loss, muscle gain, all that kind of stuff. Um, some GB athletes, like Paralympic wheelchair athletes, and then a lot of golfers, which is kind of where the last sort of 5 years has been focused on. Lots of just general pop golfers, like no no sort of like tour players or anything. So very much from like 10 to 30 handicappers. And they were all kind of coming to me with knee pain, lower back pain, stiff spines, stiff hips, and it was basically like, Sean, how can you help me just play better golf? How can you help me feel better on the golf course so that I can enjoy it more? Um, a lot of them were getting to the age where they were nearly at retirement. So they were going from maybe playing like once to twice a month, and then they were all of a sudden playing like 3 times a week. And their bodies just couldn't cope with that. So that was basically my task. It was to help them create a body that was resilient to the golf swing. Not to take them from 30 handicapper down to five. I mean, that's always a bonus, but the initial task was just like, can I play golf 3 times a week? And can I enjoy it? And can I recover from it? Um, yeah, so that's basically kind of what I do now. And I have an online program that helps golfers initially for the first 6 weeks deal with sort of back pain, which is sort of the most common issue that I see with golfers. So yeah, that's kind of a bit of a broad view of what I do.
Yeah. So my first question was going to be to you, what is the most common injury you see in most golfers? And presumably it's lower back pain.
Lower back pain, yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Uh,
Um,
so what apart from that do you see most commonly with golfers that are in the category of increasing the strain on their bodies?
yeah, so we see quite a bit of shoulder issues, but that doesn't all it doesn't always necessarily mean that the shoulder is the issue. Sometimes it's like weak rotator cuff, but we get lower back issues because the spine is quite stiff and the hips are quite
Yeah.
stiff, but we tend to get sort of shoulder issues because the cervical, like the upper spine through the neck, and the thoracic spine is quite tight as well. Um, and then golfers tend to then swing a lot with their arms. Um, and there's quite a bit of tension going through the shoulders because every golfer thinks they need that kind of parallel golf club at the back, and um, they force that. So we tend to get a lot of shoulder issues, mainly through stiff spine, a lot of back issues, lower back issues, mainly because of poor rotation through the hips. So we we tend to start with the spine. That's kind of where we tend to start. We try to create um, sort of a structure for them, a training structure where they just have a better awareness of their spines.
Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing rocket science. It's real simple stuff, but it's just having them aware of their spine, how it moves, um, and just creating a routine for them that they can do daily that can just build that mobility through the spine first.
Yeah, it's quite amazing the number of people I play golf with that
Yeah,
they do complain about those common things, and they just say, my shoulder, especially people that spend all the time on a desk and stoop down all the time and taking no time to stretch, whatever else, and that sort of thing.
100%.
So Yeah, yeah. So presumably your online course would help people like that to start off, so they don't need to be with you personally.
No,
But it's a case of making the stretches and the building up strength and using
it
some
is, yeah.
dynamic poses and things.
It is, yeah. So the first 6 weeks focuses on a sort of a mobility routine for the whole body, how to use foam rollers to create sort of like myofascial release and things like that. And then it very much focuses on anti-rotation exercises for golfers to try and create a little bit more of a stable core, along with sort of hip and spine rotational exercises. So it's generally 2 to 3 sort of sessions a week. So that in that first 6 weeks, just it'll allow the golfer to understand what it means to rotate.
Yeah,
That's what the first 6 weeks will do. They'll start
yeah,
to feel more solid through their core, and they'll start to understand what it feels like for their spine and their thoracic spine to actually rotate properly along with their hips. And then after that, we'll have a small call maybe, or we'll be chat over message on where they want to take their training next and how they've done in that 6 weeks. And then I basically write more programs for them, and we just keep that progressing. As long as they want to continue working with me, we just keep the programs progressing.
yeah, yeah. It's quite bizarre, isn't it, when we watch golfers on TV, we watch how long they spend getting ready for a round,
Yeah.
and we see them training beforehand, and they've got all these, excuse my ignorance now, pulling and pushing machines, and they've got
Yeah.
dynamic forces and things on the systems, and they're doing
Yeah.
specific weight training. But yeah, absolutely right that the fundamental thing is you've got to understand how it's all moving in the first place and building some core strength. I like to
100%.
think I've got a great core, but I could always do some improvement on that area as well. And it's about engaging the core and
Yeah.
moving at the same time and using your strong muscles. Um,
100%.
so
Go
yeah,
on.
go on.
I was just going to say it's like I think for a lot of people it's a proprioception thing. We get it where we'll ask people to just get into really standard positions. Um, and when they think they're in that position, and then we show them where they actually are, and it's kind of like nowhere near it.
Yeah,
Um, so I think it's like if I think people's golf would get better if they, especially because the setup is so important and posture, if they could repeatedly know they were in that perfect starting position before they swing the golf club. I think that would help, and I think training is a part of that. So yeah, definitely.
yeah, brilliant. Now, when I play at my golf club on a Saturday morning or during the week, I see
Yeah.
very few people doing any dynamic stretching,
Mhm.
any mobility, whatever else. Could you give a couple of quick hints as to what would be good immediately before going on the golf course?
Yeah, so the more dynamic style of stretching is gonna, especially because of what the golf swing is, it's quite a 3D, it's incredibly forceful. You need to prepare the muscle for that type of movement. So your sort of long static stretches aren't really going to be ideal for this. That maybe could have happened first thing in the morning, like a mobility routine, maybe some static stretches. But for the golf swing, everything's with a lot of force. So you need a dynamic stretching or dynamic mobility routine prior to playing, which I mean you only need 5 minutes, and it can be done on the range. You can use your golf clubs to aid you in that. But yeah, very much the dynamic style of mobility is what's needed before the golf swing, before you play.
Yeah, brilliant. And what would you suggest to people that are so they've been playing for a while, so they've got to about the 10th tee and they're starting to feel a bit of niggle, whatever else, because their bodies just aren't used to it, and they're fighting something that they've got unconsciously in their brain
Yeah.
about, I've got a weak shoulder or leg or whatever else. What would you advise people about that when they're during the round?
Yeah, so we see that a lot. We see it's, golfers, I don't know if it's because they don't warm up specifically, but golfers tend to feel, they play really poor golf the first 3 rounds. They're all tight and stiff, and then they loosen up and they start playing at what they would class their best golf. And then, like, it's just very common for 13th, 14th hole that, you know, pain, like the aches and pains start to really kick in. Um, the the old injuries start to creep back in, the old feelings. And then golf can be quite unpleasant and not very enjoyable then. Um, which is where kind of um, like you spoke last week about these patches, and they you spoke about them helping with a lot of different things, but there was one in particular, and there was a patch for pain, I believe.
Mm.
Is that
Yeah, yeah.
correct?
So the Freedom Patch, the Freedom Patch is specifically for drug-free pain relief. So I heard just today that there's a apparently a worldwide cocodamol shortage, and people are starting to panic a little bit about that. Will they get their pain-relieving drugs and medications? So the Freedom Patch we've tested with people that use cocodamol and other medications. And
Hmm.
what we found is that within 14 days, which is the optimal period, we found that their levels of pain have come down quite significantly. Some people get instant pain relief. Some people it takes to up to 14 days. Some people will not get any relief whatsoever, but that's the same with any
Yeah,
solution. Even the most highly flexible person will not get full flexibility when they're doing things that they should be doing. So yeah, the Freedom Patch is really good for pain. Um,
is
and we
that
also have some other patches that help with golfers. So on
yeah,
the website, which I'll put the link down to, but put your link in the chat below as well, if you don't mind.
yeah,
In fact, I'll put it there for you to your
yeah, that'd be great.
website for the online coaching, and I'll put a link to my website as well, which talks about golf. So
Yeah,
so patches, it's a great combination. The patches
100%.
and the strength and conditioning put together can
Yeah,
make people's golfing experience much more enjoyable overall. And what we find with the victory patch, which is currently on my leg, I was playing
mm.
football last night. It also helps to reduce inflammation post golf
So
as
it's
well.
the
Um,
recovery of it.
yeah, exactly right. Exactly.
I think that something you can prepare for golf, but it is a tough thing. I mean, average golfer might swing 90 to 100 times in a round. It is the afterwards. It's the stuff you can be doing afterwards that could really help before the next round. So that
Uh,
would be really interesting to test some of those out on people.
yeah, yeah. And when you think about post what do most people do post round? So they've been lugging a golf club around, swinging dynamically and putting all the power into it, whatever else, and they go back in the clubhouse and they sit down
They
and they
sit down
exercise just one set of muscles.
100%, and then they drive home in the car, and then they go and sit down at home as well.
They
So
sit down
like
at home because
everything
they're tired.
just stiffens up. It's like golf was an overload on their body, and then they just go and sit down, and it just all just kind of like stiffens. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
define the word madness.
exactly. Recipe for disaster. That's what
Yeah,
it is a lot of the time.
yeah, yeah. So obviously, people should sign up for your 6 week program to start getting aware of their bodies and start to develop some strength and conditioning. And
Yep,
once they've got through that 6 week period, speak to you about a bespoke program to take it further wherever they want to go,
yep,
which is great. And it's not normally available to I'm going to say the average golfer. It's normally
yep,
available only to elite golfers who can afford to pay people a lot of money. Um,
yeah.
and this your program's affordable.
100%. It really is. Yeah, it's you know, you probably spend most people in London probably spend more on coffee than in a month than what they would on a program that can obviously enrich their lives. Well, actually, coffee's quite fairly enriching. I do love my coffee, but I'm going to say the program's going to be more enriching than a cup of coffee. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
It's quite bizarre, isn't it, that again, the golfers I tend to play with, they'll say, "Oh, I've just spent £500 on a new driver. I'm getting a new trolley, which is £1,500 worth of whatever else." And you say,
yeah,
strength and conditioning program.
yeah.
Nah, never been into that.
No, don't want to spend
So
money on myself. I'd rather just spend it on shiny objects.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because they'll help me hit the ball further, and they'll help me recover. And you can play on Thursday. No, I can't. My back's sore.
Exactly. Can't even hit the new driver.
Yeah, yeah. Sean, thank you very much. I know when we met on Thursday, I
Mhm.
also showed you a balance assessment. So we looked at
You
your
did, yeah.
dynamic and lateral stability. What was your feedback on that?
Yeah, it was really strange because the difference with and without the patch was really was really obvious. I mean, you were hanging off, especially that front one. You were kind of literally hanging off me, and I wasn't moving, like nothing was budging.
Yeah.
I have actually subsequently. Didn't you do it on? Didn't you give a patch to someone there as well for a headache? And it relieved that. Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, so one of the
Pain
guys
patch.
there had a neck and head issue. So I stuck a patch on the back of his neck, and he said within a few minutes he said it was relieving. I obviously
Okay.
wasn't there for very long afterwards, and nor was I think it was Chris
Yeah,
Builder,
Chris,
I think it was.
the builder. Yeah, Chris Brooker. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was talking about the number of days he was taking off because of the pain in his head and things going on. I don't want to give any
Yep.
more details because of confidentiality and things. But he
Yeah,
was
he has
saying that
been
he was
suffering.
taking days off because of things. I just thought, for the price of a cup of tea, a cup of coffee per day, how relieving is that? That we can just literally stick a drug-free patch on the back of his neck, and it helps to reduce that automatically. Um, and
100%.
again, same with what you do. That's really great English, isn't it? The same with the solution you provide as well. If you're getting people more flexible, more energetic, recovering
Yeah,
better after exercise, it's for me, it's a simple no-brainer.
it is a no-brainer, definitely. It's like for the price point, and you don't think twice about one, two, or three cups of coffee.
Yeah,
That happens naturally.
yeah, yeah.
And if
And
for the
and the
price
price
of
of a
one of
golf
those,
ball.
exactly. Well, oh, Jesus Christ, um, it's probably half the price of a golf ball, isn't it? One of those patches. Um,
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly.
um,
Crazy. All right.
yeah.
Sean, thank you very much for joining me today. I'm just
No,
going
thank you for
to
having me.
close this, give this a close to it, give it a close to the whole thing. I guess last thoughts from you as to golfers. What's the simplest thing a golfer can do on a daily basis to help them to have more power, more stability, better confidence as to how they're going to perform on the golf course?
Very simply, it's moving better. And that's it's a little bit different for everyone because some people move in better in some ways than others. But if you can speak to a professional that can create some sort of daily movement routine for you that may take you 5 minutes that you can do maybe twice a day, morning and evening. Um, and it's like a practice. It's just something you do every day and you just try to get better at it. Um, I think that can be incredibly powerful for them. So
Do
yeah.
you know what? That's absolutely perfect. One of the things I've been doing fairly recently is teaching people how to wake up in the morning to get the very
Oh,
best
okay.
from their brains and their bodies, obviously connected together.
Yep.
And it's things like, I get people to, as soon as they wake up, stretch, get some sunshine into the eyes, drink some
Yep.
water straight away because of dehydration overnight,
Hmm.
etc., etc., etc. And to build a 5 minute routine into place on a daily basis, it's got to be good for everybody, right? So,
100%.
given expertise as to what to do on a daily basis, it's just a
Yeah.
simple thing to do.
And it is really simple. And if you just went to somebody to get that created, it really wouldn't cost. It really wouldn't cost a lot of money. And then you've got it, it's there, and you can just hound away at it. So yeah, it would be fantastic.
Brilliant. Sean, thank you very much for your time today. Hope people watching this can get some inspiration to free up their backs, get
Yeah,
the shoulders stretched, and feel more energetic and more powerful on the golf course, and in life as well. Because when you're stretched and you're mobile and you've got a good core strength, it's great for life in general. So if you're
it is.
thinking
Yeah.
about spending time with your kids, depending on how old you are, or grandkids,
Yeah.
but again, I've seen people with my patches that say they're able to get on the floor with the kids and get back up again, which is what they weren't able to do so before. And so combine the patches with the stretching routine and the strength, it's a great combination. So yes, once
It
again,
is.
thank you for joining us. If you'd like to take part in Sean's program, the details will be in the chat down below. If you'd like to think about patches, then give either one of us a call and we can point you in the right direction. So
Yeah.
thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you,
Any
sir. Thank
final
you,
thoughts
Stuart.
from you?
Um, just that I'm kind of very much looking forward to getting these patches on myself and on some of my clients and just seeing the wonder that they can bring.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for your time, Sean, and everybody watching. Take care.
Cheers, Stuart. Thank you.